Hey everyone, it's Tim. Welcome back to my channel. As you remember from last time, we were doing some sanding and prep work on the rangefinder and the stock that holds the rangefinder up on the right hand side of the ear of the Mandalorian helmet. So today what we're going to do is we're going to do some prep work on the helmet itself and the right ear attachment. This goes right over here, and that holds it against the side of the helmet and then allows me to tighten and adjust it so I can keep some good tension on there so I can bring it up and down. We're basically going to do some no prep on this. We're going to be able to see that in the next video after this. But what we're going to do on here is there are some delicate areas that I'm worried that while we sand, we might get some particulate dust in there. There are the fans right in here. We have the USB cable that's for the power. I don't want to get anything in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to not really patch up, but we're just going to kind of clog some of these holes. We're going to put the cable inside a bag, and that'll keep it nice and protected while we do our sanding and kind of Bondo work and stuff like that. So let's check it out. So today's primary goal is we want to make this helmet basically not susceptible to dust accumulation, kind of messing things up. As you can see, there's basically an inlet here for air, an inlet here, and what that does is it blows it along the ducts. I'm trying to angle it so you can see it in the camera. I'm probably messing this up. But there's a duct that runs all along through here and then shoots it across the visor. And then there's a mating one over here on the left side of the helmet. And basically that helps it to keep it so that it doesn't get foggy when you're wearing it for a long time. So you can still see up the visor. So what I'm going to do today is I'm basically going to mask off these holes. I'm going to shove some paper towel basically inside that inlet, down inside there, and then I'll probably cram some tape over it. Just to make sure that nothing gets really in there and ruins it for me later. So to begin, let's kind of do the easy one. I want to first just very simply put the Ziploc bag over the USB power cable. This will definitely probably end up getting in the way. But what I didn't really want to do is, as April and her team had already gone through the process of doing the electrical assembly, I didn't really feel like taking these screws out because I was worried that the screws are already going into the pilot holes in the plastic. If I try to put the screws back in, the plastic's going to be chewed up, and it's probably not going to go back in. It's not going to be as strong as I want it, and I'm going to regret taking those screws out. The screws are already in. I kind of want to just leave them there. Also, she's soldered all these connections in. I just don't really feel like desoldering it, potentially messing up some of the plastic with the heat. Realistically, if I was going to go through all this trouble like I am now, and I was going to get another one from her, I'd probably just say, send me all the electrical components, don't assemble it. I'll, do the soldering and stuff myself when it comes in. It's really nothing too complicated, just some little fans inside there. And it's just the input for the power. The hardest part is getting all the right parts together, which she obviously did for me. I'm basically just gonna probably ask her to do less work next time, because then I can just paint everything the exact way I want it and kind of be happy with it. So now what we'll do is let's just very simply kind of get some blue painter's tape on there. Now, I have gone back and forth about whether or not I was going to paint the inside of the helmet. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch up the inside. As you can see, these little scraggles in there. I'm going to touch them up in the next video, simply so that I can make a smooth inside surface to mount the sticky foam for the helmet pads. And then anything that gets inside there is probably just going to end up being kind of overspray that I'll live with. I may regret not doing a prim and proper awesome paint job on it, but it's the inside of the helmet and I have other things to do. So I'm probably not going to go insane in trying to make this look super awesome from every single angle. I think if I just focus on making it look great from the outside, I'm going to end up being happy with it. I've done lots of 3D printing, painting, and stuff before, but I've never done a helmet. This is my first time doing this. I tried to actually make a Darth Vader helmet out of paper mache when I was in middle school, and it actually survived for quite a while. I made a frame out of old metal coat hangers and put paper mache on it, and I used lenses from an old pair of sunglasses. Put some clear light bright little pegs down at the bottoms of the respirator to try to simulate the little lights that he's got there. You know, for something that's just a kid screwing around, it actually wasn't that bad now that I think about it in retrospect. But I've never done a Mandalorian helmet, so, you know, I'm probably going to make some mistakes as I go along, which is why I'm kind of showing everybody here so you can enjoy my process, and hopefully you learn something from this and do a better helmet when you go to do it yourself. As long as everybody's learning something from this, I'm happy. So yeah, let's just cram that up inside there. We don't need to be fancy. Basically what I want to do is just stay below the surface, because I plan on filling this with a skim of Bondo, and then I'm going to sand it because I want to just make kind of a nice smooth surface. And the next step when I go to sand, you know, like I said, I'm not going to be too picky about the inside, but this sort of is a gray area where this basically is the outside, and I want it to look good if you know, somebody's looking up inside of it. You know, a lot of the kind of the scraggly bits that I have here, I'm not too worried about, because I'm gonna end up having probably 2 layers of helmet pads in there, getting it to fit just the way I want it so it stays on my head. My goal is to not use a helmet strap. I would like to just sort of squish this on my head and have it feel good. So that's why I'm going to do some padding. Let's get some more there. I'll show you in a future video, but I actually bought a kit that's kind of used for like military tactical helmets. And it comes in like a 2-layer process where, you know, you get some of the bigger pads in there to establish the shape, and then some smaller pads to kind of reinforce main point contact areas. That feels pretty good there. Let's put some more tape down. So as you can see, she sets it up to put the switch on either side. So we have this kind of redundant looking hole there. Now this tape's not going to stick amazingly well to this plastic resin here, so I'm not really going to lose any sleep if it starts to come off. I might as well try to get it on as good as I can the first time around, and hope it sticks. You can see how that squishes a little bit. That's a pretty thin layer, because this is basically just a big duct. Probably don't need that much. So I'm not going to go too nuts. I'm going to leave just enough for me to pull it out, but still enough in there to make it so that you know, nothing gets inside. I want that duct to stay nice and clean. I don't want dust to be inside there. I don't want paint to get inside there. So yeah, I think it looks pretty good. So blocked off both ducts on the end, both ducts on the inlet, covered up the basically air inlet slash heat distribution holes. You know, obviously the heat of the fan is going to blow up, or not blow up, but build up over time. Now down here, you might not be able to see it in the video, but there's the wiring that runs back and forth. I don't care if that gets paint on it. I mean, as you can see, I doubt those were gray wires like they are. It's probably already been hit with some primer in the first round. I don't really care. Everything that I care about is now covered up. So we're gonna call this done. And I'm gonna wish you guys a good night. And what we'll do in the next video is we will go through and start sanding and modifying some of the kind of, like I said, the nitpicky spots on this that I want to work on prior to painting. So yeah, thanks again for joining. Stay tuned, and we'll have part 4 come up shortly after this. So I hope this helped anybody that's looking to do kind of some masking on their helmet. And if you have any ideas or improvements, hit me down in the comments below. All right, thanks. Bye.